The Greatest Showman is directed by Michael Gracie and it stars Hugh Jackman, Michelle Williams, Zac Efron, Zendaya, Keala Settle and Rebecca Ferguson. Inspired by the life of P.T. Barnum, this is an original musical that celebrates the birth of show business and tells of a visionary who rose from nothing to create a spectacle that would become a worldwide sensation. This is just such a fantastic, feel-good, uplifting, and inspiring film about chasing your dreams and not caring what others think. Michael Gracie directed this film, and this was his first feature film he directed. I think he's mainly done music videos and commercials up until now, and he did an excellent job for his first ever feature film, and I would be really surprised if we don't hear from him again. It's just such a strong piece of work to have as your first ever feature film. I think, if I remember correctly, James Mangold, who also did Logan with Hugh Jackman earlier this year, he came in for reshoots and stuff, so he helped out, but kind of like in a mentor kind of way. So I like how they did that. The studio didn't have him just take over. They didn't take away Michael Gracie's project from him. They gave him someone who could help guide him in the reshoots, and whatever they did, I have no idea what they did, but it worked. Definitely worked. The acting was really good. Hugh Jackman is the lead in this. I think they're going to try and push for an Oscar nomination for him, though personally I still am hopeful that they're going to choose Logan over this. The chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Michelle Williams was amazing. They managed to capture that sense of magic between them, and that's really important for a musical. Musicals are fantasies. They're meant to be magical. And they definitely capture that there. I was unsure going into this film the first time if I was going to like Zac Efron's characters. He's a really big hit and miss for me. I think, if I remember correctly, his character is a composite character, so it's based on more than one individual. I think it's two in this case. However many people his character was inspired from, he was involved in many of my favorite scenes. Zendaya has proven once again that she is someone to watch. I can see her definitely having a big future in Hollywood and getting some more leading roles. This is only the second thing I've seen her in. The other one was Spider-Man Homecoming. I think she's only 21 years old, but she proved in this film how capable an actress she is. She had some really tough and emotional scenes, and I actually wanted to see more of her character. Another person I wanted to see more of was Keala Settle. She played the bearded lady. She is fantastic in her role. She stole many of the scenes she was in, and her performance of her song was amazing. Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, who were the lyricists for La La Land, also wrote the songs for this film. I think they wrote most of them. I think one or two were not done by them. But the entire soundtrack is amazing. Every song is excellent in its own way, and I just love how they make a film set in the mid-1800s have a soundtrack that would be kind of like music you hear today. It is like music you hear today. And on paper that really shouldn't work, but somehow it does. The choreography, as you might expect, was also brilliant. There was one scene in particular between Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman in the bar. I'm not going to say anything else about it, but that scene was definitely my favorite of the whole film. It's definitely a song that hit me the most in the entire film, but that's the great thing about this film. I think each song will hit someone on a different level, and everyone will enjoy one song more than the other person. But that's the song I related to, and it inspired me outside of the film. And when a film can inspire you in your own real life, that's when it's done its job. And that's why I love movies. You can watch them for escapism, you can watch them for relating to something, to learn about something, for entertainment, and they can just inspire you like this one does for me, and I'm sure it does for many people. And I think a large part of that is also to do with the cast. They essentially became a family when they were making this film. If you go and watch any behind the scenes featurette, and there's quite a few online on YouTube. You can see the sheer joy on their faces between takes and how they're all just got each other's back. And actually, if you go back and listen to the behind the scenes stories of how they had to pitch this film, that itself is amazing. Basically, I'll give you a quick rundown because I've read various articles about it. And I've also watched a couple of videos. I'll link probably one of the best ones I found anyway, and I'll link it in the description below. But basically they had to get the entire cast and have a read-through of the entire film in front of the studio executives as like a pitch, basically. They did it in this really small room where they had to act out all the scenes and perform all the songs. And Hugh Jackman, who had been attached to this film for 7 years, over 7 years. This was basically his pet project. I think a couple of days before, it may have even been the day before, he had to get a skin cancer removed from his nose, and he had to put like 80 stitches in there, and the doctor told him, you cannot sing or perform. So basically he would act out his scenes and someone else would sing for him, but he would remain standing so that the execs would see he would be doing the songs. And basically he did that for every song until the last one. You can see how he's trying to hold back. The other person sings the first line or two, and then he just takes over. He can't help it. That's how much this film meant to him. That's how much this project meant to him. He had to do it. And you can just see the pure happiness in that room as he's singing the song between him and everyone, the extras, the other supporting cast, and that happiness comes across onto the screen, and as you watch it you can feel that happiness. It's spectacular. It really is. And then there's also another video they've released where Keala Settle is singing her song This Is Me, and again it's just amazing. She says how scared she was to perform in front of everyone, and she then, halfway through, you can see her walk up to Hugh Jackman while she's singing and grabs his hand, and then just so she can feel more secure and protected, and then lets go, and his reaction when she lets go, it's amazing. I like how I said I'm going to give a really quick rundown of what happened, but I've basically just said the entire thing. But you know what? I don't care. It's such a good story. It adds to the film so much more when you see it again, knowing, or see it for the first time, knowing that story behind it. It's amazing. Really is. Okay, I do have a couple of very, very small minor issues with this film. The first is, this is actually one of those rare occasions where I wish the film was longer. And I'm not talking like 3 minutes longer, I'm talking like another 15-20 minutes. I really would have liked to have seen more of the supporting characters, because I just didn't feel like they were quite in it enough. And then the end of the film, even though it was really good, it still felt kind of rushed, and again, I just would have liked another 5 minutes just to extend that out a bit longer. And then the very final thing, the special effects, they kind of looked a little bit iffy at times, mainly with the animals and some of the scenery. Even though part of me thinks they kind of did it on purpose, especially the backdrops. They looked kind of fake, but in a way it works because it's a musical. It kind of feels like something you'd see on stage. So yeah, overall, this is a film everyone should see. It spreads so much joy and happiness, especially in a world where so many bad things are constantly happening. It's really good escapism. And it's just got such a good message. If you love doing something, go do it. I would give The Greatest Showman a 9 out of 10. Well, what are you still watching me for? Go see this movie. Go now. And also, while you're here, make sure to, comment below, let me know what you thought about it, subscribe, like this video. Now go!